So now we'll see a closed Sicilian. This is a game played between Balashov and Nadesin. We'll see white plays with knight c3. When we play this move order, usually we are trying to play the closed Sicilian with he3. Otherwise we play knight f3 plus d4. Black plays with e6. He's trying to play the Poles Sicilian with e6, and sometimes he can also play a6 b5. That would be the Khan variation. Knight f3. As we can see, white, he's also playing with the move order. He can play he3. Maybe the other move I like in this position is f4, followed by knight f3. My idea is to play a Lemos variation with bishop b5. The thing is, I play the bishop b5 variation, but I already know he plays with e6. So knight f3, he plays a6, and here instead of playing d4, which would be the open Sicilian, and in fact we get a Poles Sicilian Khan variation, we play with he3 and we have the closed Sicilian. We still have the chance of playing d4, but as we'll see in this game, white plays with d3. Black plays d6. We castle, and he plays knight f6. A lot of players as black, they try playing he6 and bishop he7. Although he6 would be a weak move in this position, because he's creating a lot of weaknesses. Well, as you can see, he doesn't have what we call a good development yet. Therefore, we can punish with a move like d4. Now we open that position because, well, he has to take. Otherwise, we play d5. And if he plays bishop e7, then the d6 pawn is quite weak. And this is something we usually see in Sicilian. Therefore, he plays knight f6. We play d3 and bishop to e7. So he's about to castle short, and as white we have to look for a plan. Looks like we are not gonna play with d4. I mean, we just played d3, so we prefer playing a closed position, and I don't see much on the queen side for us. If we attack, it has to be on the king side. I would like to play with f4. I also feel we have the right to attack with h3, e4. That position is pretty closed, so I don't mind advancing pawns in front of my king. So we have to think about moving our knight, and I like this maneuver. Knight e5, knight h3, and then we play f4. The other variation I'm considering here is h3, followed by knight h2, and then I play f4. My knight goes back to the center, and then e4. I continue advancing, and this makes a lot of sense. I feel we have some advantage as white, and black's plan is clear. Also, he has to attack on the queen side because he has the advantage there. So I also like this h3, knight h2 plan. Maybe the other move I would consider is knight to e1. But for some reason I feel this knight e5 is aggressive. And this move has another advantage too. He can play h6 here, and that is a move which is weakening his king side a bit. You know, it is not recommended to advance pawns in front of your king. Well, he's gonna castle there, so if he has a pawn on h6, maybe in the future that pawn is a target we can sacrifice there, or maybe if we play e4, e5, it is easier for us to open his king. So maybe here I wouldn't play h6, I would just castle. I mean, that knight on e5 is not doing much. There's no need of pushing this knight back. And maybe black, he can also consider playing something like this. Although I'm not a big fan of opening that position if my king is on e8. If you want to know more about this variation, you can check the PHN file and you'll find some analysis. As we said, this h6, I think it's okay, but I wouldn't play it. Of course, we go back to h3. And here black decides to play d5. And this is what we were discussing before. He's opening that position and he doesn't have the best development to do so. He has to castle, or maybe if he's worried about f4, he can consider something like this. But we still have to play f4. We have knight f2, stopping those bishops e4. And once he plays e5, we also see his bishop e7 is bad from that positional point of view. It is a tall pawn, and most important, I feel he has some holes. For instance, the d5 square and f5 as well. He has to castle and he'll have to deal with our kingside attack. And again, we know that h6 was a bad move, or it is helping us because we are happy to play e4, e5 now. So he plays d5. So if he opens that position and his king is in the center, we have to continue. I mean, we have to play his own idea. We have to open that position, and our knight finds a good square on f4. Even if he advances, we'll play knight to d5 and we'll have a powerful knight there. Okay, so he plays d4. I don't like this move because we are gonna play knight d5. I think playing bishop e4 was better, because if we play f3, then he can just go back, and this f3 is not a good move for us. Our bishop is closed. We probably have to play queen d2, and we still have an open diagonal for our bishop. Maybe we can also consider queen e1, or why not bishop f3, trading his best bishop off. I mean, bishop e4 is testing this d4. I guess it's just too easy for us because we are going to play knight to d5. Not only placing our knight on a powerful square, we are also attacking his bishop on e7. So we can try playing with the bishop pair. We also know knight f6 is the best defender of the king side, so I'm not sure, maybe we can take the bishop on e7 or the knight on f6. He castles, and well, here honestly, if I were white, I would consider knight takes e7 check, and I'm happy with the bishop pair. I'm also analyzing knight takes f6, but I also realize there's no rush. I can just leave that knight on d5. I'm thinking about a move like rook e1, which is what white played. Maybe moving my queen, although I don't see a good square yet. This is a move I have to play sooner or later, and maybe when this knight is gone, I can play queen h5 in one step, and I win a tempo. So I like this rook e1. Here black makes another mistake. I guess d4 plus king h8 were black's big mistakes so far, and he's not losing a piece, he's not losing material, but this is too passive, and that is the problem. He's just waiting. Maybe he can just take on d5 and play something like bishop d6, bishop e6. This is still dangerous because we can try sacrificing. He's lacking that defender, but okay. Here he has, he's showing some aggression. King h8 can't help black. So I guess my point is clear. You don't have to play passive, even if you have the worst position. And white makes a good decision here, taking the knight. As we said before, we want to play queen h5. Getting the bishop pair, I think it's enough for an advantage, although those knights are defending well. He's glad to play something like this, and he keeps on trading pieces. That is good for that defender. So knight takes, bishop takes, we win a tempo, and as you can see, we are also attacking the c5 pawn, and he plays bishop e5. Well, he can also try queen d6, but as we always tell in all the videos, we have defending a pawn with the queen. It's usually not good. The queen is too powerful to defend the pawn. Here we can just try this, attacking his bishop. I also see bishop f4. We are gonna win a lot of tempos, and I guess that position is hopeless here. Once the queen left the 6th rank, a sacrifice is coming. So yeah, even if he plays king e8, here when I see this position, I know I'll have something. I should calculate. I see bishop e4, maybe rook e4, sacrificing this knight. If you check the analysis here, you'll find this move, which is awesome. If bishop takes, then we have a couple of checks and mate, and that is why we deviated bishop from d8. And if queen takes, we also have bishop e4. Difference is The queen is no longer on d7. If he plays this, we have bishop d5. This variation, I admit it's not easy to see it. I mean, maybe if I have this position, I see knight c7, but to see this beforehand, it is complicated. I guess I would sacrifice on h6, because I know in this position I should have something. Maybe if I don't have knight c7, I find something else. I have bishop e4, and worst scenario, I have a position where I have a lot of perpetual checks. I have a couple of pawns in return. I'm not worst in any case. So let's see what happens after bishop e5. Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. I had a technical problem here, so after bishop e5 we are back to this position, and let's see how to continue here. Black wanted to defend the c5 pawn, and as white, the logical move, and I think this is out of question, is h4. We have to push that bishop back. If he plays bishop e7, then we won a big tempo, and we'll also have the chance of sacrificing there, so he probably has to take on f4, or he has to play e6. Both moves are weak in my opinion. If this, we just take, and first of all we have a chance here. I don't see how to defend c5. That position is hopeless for black, and we haven't won material yet. I mean, I'm trying to say we have a winning position as white, and all because of positional facts. The bishop pair is too powerful, and if he plays e6, problem is obvious. He's creating more and more weaknesses in front of his king. Of course, we have to analyze what happens if we sacrifice on e6, but just by moving the queen to f3 or e2, we make sure he has a lot of weaknesses here. White plays queen f3. Let's double check this, just in case. I guess here he plays bishop takes c1. We can't take on h6 yet. Maybe here he is surviving, and we don't have many pieces to continue the attack, so it is not necessary to sacrifice on e6. We play this simple move. Maybe at some point this knight takes e6 is working, and we still hope he takes on f4. That is what we want to see. In fact, if he takes, we take with the queen, and then queen h6. He can't stop it. He plays bishop f6. Well, he has to. Maybe he's trying to play bishop e7 in order to protect h6. Even if he plays bishop e7, we continue with knight d5. As we always tell, each move we play, we should try creating a threat. We have to keep the initiative. Bishop e7, and once more we have to create a threat. We can't attack on h6. Maybe e6. We can try something like this, but we also have targets on the queen side. First move I see is knight e5, so that makes our decision easier. We play bishop f4, we stop everything, and we also try knight c7 or bishop c7. He plays bishop f5. Well, bishop e6 loses to knight c7, I believe. He loses at least a pawn. And I know this is bad looking, but when you're defending, best you can do is trade pieces off, and this knight b4 is probably the best. His position is hopeless though, because he has a lot of weaknesses, and he can't finish his queenside development. The pressure is too much. So he tries bishop f5. We play this, and the idea is to just deviate the queen from b6. He plays queen d7, only move. If queen c8, then we win in a single move, playing bishop d6. And after this, we should try playing knight b6. Of course, before doing that, we have to protect our bishop on c7. That means we have the simple queen f4. You can see everything is well protected. And problem is, it's either knight b6 or even bishop d6 trying to take on c5. So there's no way to stop both. I just don't see how to stop knight b6. He has to run away with the rook. He plays rook to e8. If rook c8, well, this stops knight b6, but we play bishop d6 and we lose, and black loses the c5 pawn, not to mention knight b6 is still there. So rook a e8. I believe bishop d6 is possible. However, we have a stronger move, knight b6, and the queen is trapped. This is amazing. I still cannot tell a big mistake by black in this game. I just feel he was outplayed by white's great positional play. Now the queen is trapped. He has to try this, but okay, we'll have more material. We just play this, and after bishop takes d7, maybe if he plays bishop e8, he creates a fortress, he can continue. After queen takes f7, this is absolutely over. We just made in one, but I think after queen f4, believe it or not, this is lost. He loses on b6, on d6, and it's tough to believe he cannot defend the c5 pawn. So out of this game we have a couple of things to learn. In the opening when he played d4, I think that was too passive. That bishop e4 was better. Let's take a look. I'm just trying to point out black's mistakes. They were not obvious mistakes, but here, for instance, bishop e4 was much better. d4 looks aggressive, but it makes our decision, our play, too easy. And, well, h6 too. We said h6 in the opening was a bit weak, and in fact in this game we had a lot of tricks on h6. And the other mistake was, well, king h8. That is probably the last mistake, because he had some room for improvement here after Rookie 1. When you're defending, remember, try and trading some pieces off, and you still have some chances. If you wait, your opponent won't have chances of making a mistake. He'll probably find better and better moves. So I hope this analysis was useful. I hope you learned something out of this game, and of course we'll continue analyzing in the next videos. Thank you. Hi, this is Grandmaster Damian Lemos. First of all, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to receive more free chess videos from us, you can just click the subscribe button below. I would also highly recommend signing up for my free mail course, The 10 Grandmaster Secrets to Dominate Chess. During this exclusive course from onlinechesslessons.net, I'll share with you my own Grandmaster shortcuts to effective attacking, defending, and growth hacks to improving your chess without complicated books or memorization. So sign up by clicking the sidebar on the right, and I know you won't be disappointed. Once more, this is Damian for onlinechesslessons.net, and I'll see you in my videos. Thank you.